Hello, continuing my watch today. It should be a little bit less stressful than it was yesterday. This piece which holds the movement though has caused me some problems. It was originally a bit too tight and now the movement's too loose because I've relieved a little bit of the material. The pinion needs to stay in the centre of the hole on that side, so somehow I need to grip this in the case, and what I'm thinking is this piece of material here, I can just put a couple of cuts through it with a saw blade, and then I should be able to squeeze it against the movement to hold it tight. That's got some advantages. It means that if the movement ever needs to come out, it can be released. But that bezel really gets its strength from being in one piece, so it's a shame that I'm cutting it through, but it should be quite safe in the middle of the watch. And just there at the top I want to relieve a bit of material, because I want that button to sit a little bit more comfortably within the case. So I'm going to shave that back a little bit, and I've managed to find a little bit of silver which I've used as a marker against these lugs, these spring lugs. The actual lugs which hold the spring lugs need to come back a little bit, and by using a Sharpie marker and this little piece of silver, I've marked them all so that they should end up exactly the same length. And then I'm going to have to drill holes in the ends to take those spring lugs, so I want to mark them out and get them accurate, and then just shave off the ends of the lugs so that it's rounded at the top and the corners are missing from the bottom, because those sharp corners might be a bit uncomfortable as they are. So it's going to be lots of filing and lots of cleaning up. All that material needs to come off. Going to cut that with a fret saw and then file it back as well. And this is me just putting those slices into the bezel. It's amazing how strong that bezel is in one piece, and as soon as you cut through it, it starts to feel a little bit flimsy, but it needs to be done. And because this sits in a recess in the bottom of the watch, there's no real danger that it's going to take any force of any sort, so even if it is a little bit delicate, it's not the end of the world. The main thing is that the movement is held in one place and not rattling with inside the watch. I'm using a very, very thin saw blade because the big saw blade that I used was just gripping that material, and you have to make sure that the saw blade doesn't sag, otherwise it will cut the top edge. And here that's me just filing some of the case off a little bit. Sad to say that I have lost some more material again. Not gold this time, I mean film footage. The camera that I've got for some reason just decides that it's going to scramble files randomly, and so at the start of today the film came out okay, but you won't get to see the watch on a watch strap or the process of polishing the buckle, which I had filmed, but that's been lost now. So here I'm just filing back the material in the case. It does take quite a lot of filing. And I've ordered some extra easy solder because I've used hard, medium and easy, and I might still want to add a little bit more solder around the lugs and around the ends. So I think extra easy solder doesn't pass the assay. It's not up to standard, but it does run at a very low temperature, So that might just allow me to do a little bit of touching up if I want to, because really I don't want to get this too hot again. It's got too much solder in it now, and if I get it too hot, things might start moving around again, which I don't want, because now everything's really in the right place. Those lugs are in the right place, and everything lines up and the spring lugs pop in. It's just one little gap at one end of the watch, which I'm not that happy about, but I think it's too late to be changing that now. I could possibly do it, but I'm not really sure. When I heated it up last time, it distorted slightly. If it distorts again, then it might mean that the spring lugs don't line up. Drilling the spring lugs into the 9-carat lugs went okay. I used that high-speed drill bit again. I lubricated it, got it up to high speed before I touched the yellow gold. Just let the weight of the drill take itself through. Also, I've watched a couple of videos on how to sharpen these drill bits. That one's still sharp, but this is useful information. It doesn't take too long to sharpen, but you just have to know exactly what you're doing for it to be effective. When I did drill those holes in the lugs and I put the strap on, I used what are called fat boy spring lugs. They're quite robust, and they're quite hard to push through the actual strap because they're thicker than a normal spring lug, and they only just squeezed within the lugs. Basically, they wouldn't go in until I had actually filed up the insides and cleaned up the insides of the lugs. So that means that both sides are fully compressed in order to get the lug out of the watch. This is kind of good because it means that there's less chance that the watch is going to end up falling on the floor. And so there's going to be lots of cleaning up doing, and I wanted to show you the process of polishing the buckle as well. I'm using my pendant drill with polishing compound and rouge. It's not as good as using a full-size polishing motor, but it will get me out of trouble. It should be okay. But I mean, I need to do loads of filing, and I need to use lots of wet and dry, get everything perfectly smooth before I start touching it with the pendant drill. This case has got quite a lot of work left in it, but mainly cleaning up now, I think, to get everything nice and polished and shiny. It's going to take a little bit of effort, and I'm going to have to keep doing quality control on it, basically. Thanks for watching.